Welcome to the start of Module 5 on delegation in this series on strategic leadership. Right now, at this point, we've already talked about the previous 4 modules, starting with developing vision and purpose. So as a strategic leader, you had an opportunity to think about the importance of defining your vision and your purpose. And then we moved on to strategic thinking and moving from vision into a strategic plan and outcomes you're hoping to achieve and how you can accomplish each of those end outcomes. The third module, we focused on decision making and how to be a strategic and rational decision maker. And then we just finished talking about module 4, which was about setting priorities that allow you to select the work that will be most likely to help you achieve your end outcomes. So now we're at the module of delegation. And what does it mean to delegate well? How do we delegate well as a strategic leader? So the objectives for this module on delegation are simply to first understand what is delegation, what do we mean by delegation, and then understand when is it appropriate to delegate to someone else, and thirdly, understand how to delegate something to someone else. The fourth objective is to assess your own responsibilities and the activities that you're responsible for now and determine if there are some of those things that maybe you should be delegating. And lastly is to actually make a plan of which of those activities you actually will delegate and how and to whom. So let's start out with part 1, just a simple overview of delegation. What is delegation? What does it mean? If we start with a little history of the word and where it comes from, I'll go back to the original Latin. There was a verb that is called legere. And the verb in Latin legere meant to appoint someone as your representative. So to appoint somebody else to represent you in doing something or saying something, legere. And then it was around the 1300s that the noun legate started to be used. And the noun legate referred to an official representative of the Pope. So if the Pope couldn't go somewhere or couldn't speak somewhere, he would identify a representative, and that person was called the legate. And then around the 1600s, you can see that this is an actual root word of delegation. Legate and legere is what started to form the word delegate, right? So around the 1600s, we began using the noun delegate, not delegate, but delegate, the noun, which referred to a person who is chosen or elected to vote or act for others. And we still use that noun today, delegate. And around 1700 is when we began using the verb delegate, which means to trust or entrust someone with a job or duty. And that's really what we're talking about here when we talk about delegation, is we have a list of responsibilities as a leader, and we need to think about which of those things should we entrust to others to do. And those are the things that we delegate. All right, so that's what it means to delegate. Let's start out as usual with a poll. I want to ask you, what do you think the best reason is to delegate? The best reason to delegate? Is it maybe A, you have too much work to do, so you want to give some work to other people? Is it B, you should delegate if you have tasks that you don't want to do, so you give those tasks to somebody else? Do you delegate because C, other people are bored and you want to make sure they have enough to do? Or do you delegate because you want to practice your management skills and giving people work to do? Or do you, E, want to delegate so that you can empower sufficiently skilled people? What do you think the best reason to delegate is? In reality, any and all of these options are potential reasons to delegate, but I would say that perhaps the best reason to delegate would be that last one. We want to empower sufficiently skilled people, because when we delegate to other people, we are giving them an opportunity to learn and grow and develop themselves. And I would say that if we want to be leaders who are developing and growing and multiplying future leaders, then we absolutely should be thinking about how we can delegate important tasks to other people so that they can develop and grow. There was an article by Inc. magazine a while back that talked about when to delegate, and they used what they called the 70% rule, which basically said, if you have someone who can do the task or the activity about 70% as well as you can do it, then you should probably consider delegating it to them. Because in reality, much of the time, we don't need someone to do a task exactly the same way we do it or exactly as well as we do it. Oftentimes we just needed to get done at a decent level. So thinking about, does someone have the skills enough to do it well enough that we can delegate to them and give them a chance to grow and learn at the same time? I would actually even argue that oftentimes in today's world, when we delegate to someone else, there's a decent chance that that person we delegate to can do the job far better than we can. So that's an even better reason to delegate, is if they can do it better than we can. But oftentimes if they can't yet do it as well as we can, it's an opportunity for them to learn and grow, and you can give them input along the way.